As we approach a world with tighter financial conditions, traders are desperate to find out what this may mean for some of the most popular investments in financial markets. This year has started really well for the precious metal gold, but what is the outlook for the next 3 years? Welcome to our market forecast videos here at Zenfinex. My name is Connor Woods and I'm the senior market analyst at the company. And for today's video, I'm going to give a balanced forecast on the gold market all the way up to 2025. To do this, I will analyse the bull case and the bear case and give my opinion on the price of gold in the next 3 years. Enjoy. Let's take a look at an overview for gold first of all, and it's important to take these forecasts that are this far ahead with just a pinch of salt. 3 years ago, no one would have predicted the world would have quite literally stood still due to a virus which has now killed nearly 6 million people. Now, gold prices actually hit an all-time high in 2020 due to this pandemic, mainly due to the havoc and uncertainty it caused, and it finished 2020 a massive 25% up. This does seem quite a long way away now, and 2021's performance was actually quite underwhelming. It ended the year 3.5% down, and the reason being optimism of a global economic rebound helped by successful vaccination programs, meaning gold really struggled for those investment flows. What are analysts predicting really for the next 3 years? Well, according to the consensus complied by S&P Global, the price prediction for gold by 2025 is around the $1,700 per ounce mark. Considering the prediction for 2022 is around $1,800 per ounce, this is an 8% drop from there. And of course, there are more wild predictions out there. You'll see articles claiming $10,000 and probably beyond. Of course, you never know, but I'm sitting on the side of the fence where I think it's going to be just a little bit lower than that. Looking at the bull case, first of all, why can gold actually rise in the next 3 years? The Federal Reserve have announced they will taper in 2022. This means cutting back on their asset purchases and adopting a tighter approach to their policy. This will be followed, of course, by interest rate hikes, and currently at the time of recording this video, I think the market is pricing in around 4 or 5 interest rate hikes at the moment. Either way, this change of policy is causing and has caused volatility in the markets. Gold is an asset that can provide protection against volatility, like we saw during the pandemic, and this is probably why gold has been performing pretty well so far this year. Now, are the Federal Reserve still behind inflation? Some analysts think inflation will be persistent for the next 3 years. This essentially decreases the value of holding your cash, your purchasing power falls. Therefore, in times of higher inflation, people like to hold gold as it protects them against any inflationary pressures. And finally, gold is a resource that is scarce in supply, and with supply dwindling, whether it be slowly, it means that the price is likely to continue to increase and rise with the increase in demand. Now, why can gold actually fall? Let's have a look at why gold can fall. Looking at the bear case, the first factor to mention is the US dollar, and I think it's the most important factor really. Gold is dollar denominated, and so an increase in the value of the dollar tends to cause gold prices to fall. With the Federal Reserve tapering, the US dollar has become stronger, which is one of the main reasons for the fall in gold prices that we saw in 2021. Again, it comes down to whether the Federal Reserve have got this all right. If they haven't, then the market has underpriced interest rate hikes, meaning the dollar has more room to grow. This is obviously going to halt gold prices. But what about Bitcoin and other safe haven assets as well? Whether traders like it or not, cryptocurrencies and now NFTs are alternative investments which have grabbed the attention of pretty much everyone in the financial markets. Gold and Bitcoin are both non-interest paying investments, and there's been much debate as to whether traders are now picking Bitcoin or any crypto over that matter over the likes of gold and other metals as the world and markets progress into this new world or new phenomenon which we're not sure of yet. Now, if the $100,000 predictions for Bitcoin are accurate, can gold really grow in this environment? Something to monitor. Now, there of course are other factors which just cannot be predicted, such as geopolitical issues. Any escalated tensions, should they arise in the next 3 years, should also aid gold prices as well. However, to give a final prediction for gold prices by 2025, my prediction is $2,000 per ounce. A nice round number. The main reason is due to demand really outstripping the scarce supply and the protection it can have against volatility. I expect volatility to remain elevated due to the uncertainties of economies in a post-pandemic world. However, with the introduction and hype around the likes of Bitcoin and NFTs, gold will be forced to, I think, share investment flows. Either way, the prices are going to be fluctuating significantly, and it's important to stress that this is a volatile market with peaks and troughs. Either way, let's take a look at the chart and see where we're going to go towards that $2,000 mark. On the weekly chart for gold now, and I'm on the weekly chart of course because we're doing such a long range forecast. I just really want to show you the general picture. The most important part of this video will be, of course, the fundamental analysis, which I've just done previously. But anyway, you can see that really since May 2019 we went on this tremendous run, and that's when we topped out at that 2,075. And I'm going to put this really, I know I said 2,000, but really this is the main level that I'm going to be looking out for to see if 2025 can reach there. My actual take profit for any trades will be more at around 2,000. So 2025 take profit. Now, when you can see on this weekly chart, what you can actually see is you can see quite clearly this trend to the upside. I think we can all see that quite nicely. But what's significant about this trend that we see to the upside is that people started to worry about gold. But when you actually look, all we're seeing a similar sort of consolidation pattern that we saw back in 2011, 2012. And when I zoom right in on what we can see now, what we can see is this triple bottom that was actually created here. And so in order for the market, I think, to show that it's going to be bearish, if in a few years time, if people are watching this video and in a few years time you can actually see gold move something like that and actually broke below the 1680 mark, then I think the general trend shift for gold will be bearish. So that's something to look out for. Alternatively, we can continue to use this 1730 level where we have this triple bottom as a support level to spring up to that 2000. I know that 2000, when we actually look at it in the grand scheme of things, isn't much of a take profit. It isn't much gains. As I said, I am bullish on gold, and this would show gains on gold from where we were really back in 2021. It's only 3 or 4 years down the line from there. But I do expect the likes of Bitcoin, and I expect NFTs, and I expect, whether you believe them or not, they are stealing investment flows. I think that gold is going to have to share some of its investment with the likes of Bitcoin. So, of course, the key structure then to look out for is if gold is really, really going to take off and do what you see some analysts say, it's going to need to break this 2075 level, of course. If it can break above there, then of course we're going to be looking up towards that 2,300, 400 level for 2025. But for me right now, I expect the market to be in this kind of a consolidation pattern for the next few years. I think 2022 is actually going to be a good month, and I expect 2022 actually to test a level such as around 1900. I think it's going to end the year above this structure high, up around 1900, 1930, whatever you want to call it. But then I do think we're going to have, so let's put that as 2022 take profit. What I think we're going to see is we're going to see the market test here, and we're going to fall back into this consolidation pattern for 2023 and 2024 potentially, before we get that move up. In the last 2 years of this forecast, I think we might get this move up towards that 2000 level. So of course, whatever happens, we're going to get these peaks and troughs. We're going to get this market structure forming. We're going to see something that looks a little bit like what I've done here with higher lows and etc. and higher highs. But either way, I see the general trend of gold being up. I just don't see it being at the same pace that we've seen over the last couple of years. So that's it for my gold 2025 forecast. I hope everyone's enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. It does help boost our channel. We appreciate all the subscriptions and comments and likes that we get on this channel as well. Other than that, I hope everyone does have a great trading day when you're watching this video, and we'll catch you all for the next forecast video. Cheers.